Well, this is Empire Total War United Provinces, and we're still fighting the Marathas in the centre of India. We've had various attacks come in left, right, centre from decent combat troops, lancers. Now the main force seems to be going in. He hasn't been able to break my line on either side, but he's decided to go for it anyway. Like I said, he's better at close combat than I am. He's got lancers, he's got sword fighting Sikh infantry, he's got advanced bayonet drill for all his musketry as well, so close combat he's definitely superior to me. He's got the firing by rank, of course, which I've got, but he's also got the fire and advance option. But really his greatest asset is his close combat work. So if you remember, I wanted my troops in column formation so that we've got strength in depth, which is what we've got. If you white set my first and second line, I've got a third, fourth and fifth behind them to continue the fight, so the line doesn't get broken in the middle. Anyway, we've defeated all of those attacking us now. We've managed to get enough firing against them, and our troops have been able to fend him off. Still got the cavalry held back in reserve. I don't want to be losing them to his close combat troops. I'm holding on to them as long as I can. I know I've needed them to take out his artillery, but now here we go. Send some of them in. He's broken now every unit virtually on that side. There's one unit way off there to the right, which looks to be shaken as well. So the main threat now seems to be coming from this left hand side. So we need to move our troops around, reform the line. He's looking for angles, he's looking for individual weak units, he's looking for flanks, he's looking for a large push in towards the centre, he's looking for weaknesses. So far we've managed to thwart every single one of his plans. Now, to a casual observer, they might think that the Maratha army has behaved a bit stupidly in this battle, but he moves quickly. And breaking you in one part of the line. I don't know if you remember a long time ago, back in Mexico, when we were fighting in Mexico, where they had better combat troops than ours. They managed to attack the line, a fairly thin line. Once they'd broken that unit, they moved in towards the others, and before you knew it, you had 3-4 units breaking. Only needs one unit to do that, and that's all they had in Mexico then, if you remember. The same thing can happen here. In fact, it can happen worse here, because the kind of troops that he's got are much more sophisticated than the Indians that I was fighting there. Okay, we managed to get a shot in there before he's come in. Got a bit of a mismatch here from some of these chaps that have been fighting elsewhere. We need to get these across actually to cope with these chaps that are coming in from the other flank. Not exactly typical 18th century warfare, is it? But having said that, we're fighting in India, so there's no reason really why it should be. In order to get close to us, he's got to go across those stone walls, which is nice. That's going to do nothing but disrupt his formation. Of course, another thing he's going to want to do is engage me so that it takes my eye off the ball, for want of a better expression. In other words, it keeps me away from the troops who are routing. And of course I want to finish those off. I don't want them back in the game. Problem that I've got now, of course, is that those troops are going to be firing through my own men, so I've just moved them over to melee mode. And these chaps into melee mode as well, because they're up too close now to be firing. What I don't want them to be doing is reloading while they're... Oops! What's happening over here? They've reformed. I thought they were only peasantry. Good grief. They seem to reform. I don't know how on earth that's happened. You know, while I've been concentrating on the other side of the battlefield, I've been chasing off routers, or I thought I was chasing off routers, and now I'm looking at just wavering troops rather than routing. Anyway, it looks like they're broken now. It looks like perhaps they've recovered before I got into them. I've managed to get into them now, and they're broken. Goodness knows what's going to happen with those others that are nearby. They may well reform and then fire into the flank as well on there. Okay, quick pause while we look around and see what's going on the rest of the battlefield. Make sure we've got everybody straightened out so we know who we're firing at and where. No exposed flanks. If you look there, it looks like they've found a way through so that they can attack my cavalry, haven't they? So we're going to need to feint that flank a little so that we can bang a little bit of fire into his side there as well. And then we're going to need to get that cavalry out of the way. Again, we're going for quite dense formations. We can always spread out if we need to. There he goes. I think he was intending on running quite quickly into there, wasn't he? Against those cavalry. This is the point about pausing, you see. You take your eye off the ball, you look over to the other side and see the ones that we're routing, just to check that the routing's going okay, and it's not. You know, they're actually reforming. Then you come and have a look at the other side of the battlefield and you find there's a flank attack that's taking out your cavalry, or potentially could take out your cavalry. It's very bitty, very bitty. Now some people might be quick enough to be able to run around this battlefield all the time watching all of this go on. You may well be one of those people. I'm not one of those people, but even if I were, it would be very difficult to do that while you're recording this, because you would literally be flying around the battlefield left, right, all over the place, looking at everything all of the time. So I do think pausing the game is probably the best way to do it from my point of view and from anybody that's viewing the game as well. I do appreciate it. It makes it a less exciting game to watch, and you're not seeing the nice, well, the beautiful close-ups that Empire Total War can give you either, because I really do need to see the overall battlefield. I need panoramic views. I need to see the white flags wavering from anybody that's already broken and routed, so I know where they are, so that I can send my cavalry after them as well. Okay, they're closing in here now, as you can see. Decided they weren't able to reach the cavalry, so they've turned in towards my infantry. Over to the right hand side here you can see that he's got formed troops. I thought we were simply chasing routers. Doesn't seem to be the case, does it? Don't really understand how these chaps are getting the kind of morale to come back. They haven't got good numbers and they've already been broken. I'd have expected them to continue running, but they've obviously got pretty good morale, these chaps. We haven't seen any markers drop down the left hand side of the screen yet to say any generals have been dead, so it is possible he's got an extremely good general that's keeping their morale up. That's quite a possibility. Or of course facilitating their ability to reform. Those horse troops over there in the centre of the picture at the moment, they're probably cavalry. That's probably his general there. They're the ones that are preventing me from piling into the side there of his infantry. Oh look, they're hand-armed cavalry, I think. So I think what they're doing is they're shooting at my cavalry as well. They fooled me into thinking they were just horse, and that's why my cavalry there on the left hand side are wavering. Well, we're going in. I don't want to leave my foot exposed. And I can't just stand there while he fires at me from a distance, so we're going in. And let's hope we can clear away this right hand side at the same time. They're wavering. So are mine, would you believe? So his broken troops have now come back, and they're actually defeating one of my units over there on that side. This gives you some idea of the kind of quality that I'm going in against. Anyway, we should be able to complete this on the next video with a little bit of luck, and I don't think we'll have done too badly, I hope.